Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be running my Word Count PySpark program from my single node big data virtual machine that I created. The dataset I'm going to be using is the Yelp Reviews dataset, which contains roughly 5.9 million reviews written about different businesses. I'm now going to give you a quick overview of the technologies I use. We're then going to go through my code at a very high level, and then I'm going to show you the outputs by running the program. So I developed my PySpark program using a Jupyter Notebook. My dataset I stored in my Hadoop distributed file system, and I'll be accessing that data via Hive. Spark will be my processing engine, with Python as the programming interface to Spark. Now I'm going to go over my code at a very high level. So first thing I did was set both the Spark and Hive context, which allow me to interact with these technologies from my notebook. I also then loaded in my data via Hive. And then if we scroll down a bit more, I've now defined a few functions which I will pass into my Spark transformations. So first I convert everything to lowercase for consistency and to clean the data, along with removing the punctuation and any new line characters. I then split each review I had by space, so now each word is a new row in my RDD. I then assigned each word a count of 1. And then I aggregated all this data in my RDD, so it groups everything by word and then aggregates the count by sum. And finally, I visualized the output using Python's matplotlib. Now, if we go down, we have the main method, which starts calling the Spark transformations on my user-defined functions above. So, for example, I have map transformation to remove my punctuation, flat map to split my data. I'm using the dot filter to filter out any stop words, where stop words are words like I, a, and the. These words really don't tell you much in your final analysis, so it's best to get rid of them to concentrate on more meaningful words. And then I've got my reduce by key transformation to aggregate my data, some sorts as well. So if I go ahead and run this, I'm only going to be running this on 10,000 rows of data, so 10,000 reviews, just for the interest of time. So I'm first asked a few questions. Would I like to enter debug mode? No. It's then going to set the Spark and Hive context. As I mentioned above, this will allow me to interact with both those technologies from Jupyter. And I'm then going to be followed up with 4 more questions. The first being how many reviews? So let's analyze 10,000. How many top N words would I like to see in my results? So let's say I want to see the top 15 most common words used. Would I like to remove stop words? Yes. Would I like the results visualized? Yes. So now it's going to run the program. This takes about a minute to analyze all 10,000 reviews. So I'm going to let this run and I'll come back to you guys in a second. As you can now see, the program has finished running. So if I scroll down a bit, what we get is a list of the top 15 words that's been extracted from those 10,000 reviews, with food being number 1 with a count of 4,702. We can scroll down and it visualizes the results. And finally, we're given some performance analysis stats at the bottom. So data loading took 24.7 seconds. Data processing took 37.4 seconds, and in total, those 10,000 reviews executed in 62.09 seconds.